Hi, this is Phil and Wings from SkiTalk.com, and we're going to do a cage match comparison with the all-new Fischer Ranger 96 and the Kästle FX96 tie. Wings, I'm going to let you start off talking about the Ranger.
Sure. So with the new Ranger 96, we have a great all-mountain ski. I mean, really hard to go wrong with these new Rangers. Dimensions on this ski are 129, 97, 120 with an 18-meter radius. Remember, Fischer does scale sizes, so that's just what we have here in this 180 length. To start with this ski, I mean, looking at them both, man, they're just so close. But I might consider the Ranger slightly more forgiving. I mean, that's not to say it's a bad thing either. We have mostly, a wood tip, and so your turn initiation is really smooth. It's really easy to engage. But once you get into the shaped TI, which is what they're calling it underfoot, the H-shaped metal, you really still find that stability underfoot. Of course, you still have a nice, good performance base and everything. You have maybe just a little more rise in the tail, so it could release just a little easier.
That's, I think, where the forgiveness is coming from.
Yeah, a lot of that too. Yeah, I mean, between these two skis, it's tough, but I might be a little more of a Ranger fan.
Well, doing a cage match comparison, the main thing is we're not saying one ski is better than the other. We're trying to help you choose the best ski for you. I mean, both skis here, they're great choices. And I agree with Greg, as far as I think we do have probably a little more forgiveness with the Ranger, but I don't think that's at a cost of anything.
No, I don't think so either.
No. Coming over to the Kästle, we talked about the dims on the Ranger, a 129 tip. Now the Kästle, we go to a 133 tip. We also have a little more flare in the tail. So what we've got with the Kästle here is a ski that's probably going to come through the turn with a little more power. It's going to hold you through. It's going to expect a little bit more from you. So, if we're comparing almost to where you're spending your time on the snow, and we're talking like 55-45 here, 55-45 off-piste, 55-45 on-piste. We're kind of, again, splitting hairs a little bit. But with the Kästle here, I think it's going to be a little bit firmer on the snow, a little more connection to the snow. I'm looking at from the side here. If we take a look at tip shape on these two skis, we're talking nearly identical there. But I think in the tail is where we see the difference in these two skis here. So, we're, again, kind of splitting hairs on it, but you know something? That's why we get paid the big bucks to do this, to help you pick out the best ski for you. Both skis, as far as solid feel, I think is really good. This is the third generation of Kästle FX. The first one was just incredibly nice. It was, and I watch how I say this, it was vanilla ice cream, but really good vanilla ice cream. It did so many things so well. Then the second generation, I really didn't mesh with. I thought it had too much taper at the extremities. I never really found the best of it, but it was a really good off-piste ski. But I think this third generation actually was probably the best combination of what that first one and the second one was. Now, how many generations are we here?
Yeah, so we're on our third generation, really, with the Ranger. And I think this is kind of going back to a little bit of what they were doing with the Watea originally.
No, very much so.
And so with these, the first generation we really saw with their AirTech core, a lot of their carbon, it was a 50-50 ski. A lot of people went a few ways with it. Mm-hmm. And then when they did the more beefier series, that was almost a little overbuilt. Yep. And I feel like it did limit some of the accessibility to it. These new Rangers, and I say accessible, and I don't mean that in any bad way.
No.
These new Rangers are so much fun. If anything, they just help you ski a little longer.
Yep.
I think that when comparing the two, the Fischer might give you a little more relaxed skiing, but you can still turn it up. You still have that metal and stability underfoot. You can still turn up the dial if you need to. And then with going over to that Kästle, I think you're looking for just a little more ski. and maybe a little more groomer, harder snow performance.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And you bring up the Wattea, and it brought it back. This really reminded me of that Wattea 94, which is one of my favorite skis from that generation. I think it was just a super ski.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're looking for something that's erring slightly off-piste, the Ranger, something you want to be a little more firmer conditions, depending on where you are and your region and type of snow that you have. You might go to the Kästle. It's really hard to say. There's not a bad choice. It's going to be which one is best for you. I mean, this is a really tough decision because they're both really good.
Yeah, they are.
And I'll tell you, the one thing I will like to add before we close it out, finish out of the box of both of these skis is incredible. I mean, the base structure is beautiful. They both come with a really nice margin grind on the base. Again, really impressed with them. Both manufacturers are really doing a good job there. I mean, Fischer's really stepped up to their game, coming up to that premium level that Kästle has been really a cornerstone and had a really good place in the market for them.
Absolutely. I mean, what I'm seeing coming out of Fischer right now is just, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah. So again, this is a tough one here. So, but again, it's going to be up to you. But it comes down to skiing is fun.
If you enjoyed this informative video, hit that bell, subscribe so that you'll stay up to date on the new videos, and check out SkiTalk.com for more ski-related content.
Also, please follow SkiTalk.com on all of your social media channels. No tires were rotated during the production of this video.